I was scrolling through the comment section on my previous video. One of my viewers poured his heart into the comment. This video will be like a narration. I'm going to be reading his comment. Here goes. Passport bros are disgusted with the local product. I have talked to several black men who go with Hispanic women. They say they go because they are so much better. And these black men can fill my ears for hours about just how bad the American sisters treat them. Gloria Steinem said women are becoming the men they used to seek for marriage. Great, they can self-partner. Women are selling a wasting asset. Women are powerful in their spring, on the medicine wheel, say 23, when nature sings a reproduction song. Summer is in their 30s, autumn comes at 40. Men's spring is in their 30s. In many cultures, husbands are 10 years older than their wives. Childbirth is a major stressor after the 20s. Men can father a child in their 80s. Darryl Davis is a black jazz pianist. He talks Triple K members into quitting that organization. He has around 20 Triple K robes, where the guys give up membership, they don't need the uniform. Life talks women out of feminism. Biology is a strong incoming tide. I visited Austria for my honeymoon. She went nuts, and I had to divorce her for my own safety, and did the Sound of Music tour, which is nice. Including the palace in the movie Amadeus. The tour guide bemoaned the loss of Jewish merchants who always had low prices and were great businessmen. The concentration camp not far from there was not on the itinerary. Over half of the ESA troops were Austrian. I thought it's not like your people made Jews feel very welcome, did you? I'm so amused listening to women ask where all the good men went. The good men go dark, they drop into the bush and vanish from view, as any prey animal would when a predator is around. I went to a martial arts class in a college town. There were poisonously feminist women, 30 to 60 there. All of them knew Prince Charming was right around the corner, waiting for the right conjunction of Venus and Mars to marry them, put them on a $5,000 per month allowance, buy the big house, to the vacations in Europe, lavish attention on them despite their constant disrespect for him. They had seen documentaries, soap operas, Hallmark movies, romance novels, Sex and the City, and so on, which are always precisely accurate depictions of real human daily life. They didn't have that fairy tale life due to male oppression. I put on my cloak of invisibility, I could being a better male, and listened and learned. They later decided that the instructor, a black man, was somehow sexually harassing them during the course. I did a vision quest. I can lavish love on people, just turning on the flow. Around those women, cloak of invisibility. Do you need to get rid of a woman fast? Start crying. Act beta, talk about your feelings just like the feminists tell you. They're gone. I remember a woman about 55 in college. She was desperately seeking Mr. Right Wallet. They'd cut her off after one date. She had nuclear waste-grade resentment, plus alcoholism. Oddly enough, Mr. Right Wallet was doing his risk assessment. I was just a student assistant. She invited me to dinner. I brought my girlfriend at the time. Madame Batleeks got sarcastic and abusive to the point we had to leave. Women wanted everything men have. And now they have it, and they are upset. 1 in 3 women who have had an abortion have an STD. 80% of women consort with 20% of men. 10% of men are 6 feet tall. Women find 80% of men ugly. My grandmother worked at home. Monday was a wash day. By hand, no washing machines. Stains were scrubbed out by hand. Tuesday was ironing day with flat irons. No mixers back then. You bought your flour and sugar in bulk. In 1944, it cost 8 cents per pound. Only after World War II did prepackaged mixers come out. Wednesday was a mending day, clothes were expensive, and they had to be repaired. Thursday, baking day, baking bread for the week. My grandmother taught before marrying. Her husband told her he made enough money so she didn't have to work. She was delighted. This was a luxury, not having to work at an outside job. I met them in the 1960s. My grandmother was a widow in 1940. She had to work. My father was still young. He had to work at 10 cents per hour to clean off old bricks to be reused. He said he was glad to get it. My mother made 25 cents per hour in a grocery store. She would get flour from the bottom of the barrel and put it in a bag. My father made 25 cents per hour as a night watchman. He got into college at the height of World War II. He wanted all the college he could get before being drafted. He wasn't drafted. He finished high school in 3 years and a 4-year degree in 2.5 years. Socialists want everything to be free. Great idea. Native Americans had that. Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels originated socialism based on studies of the Iroquois. And they completely missed the spiritual side of Native Americans, which is the foundation. In a Dakota village, a prime cut of buffalo meat was put outside the tipi of a widow. Like what happened in the small towns my parents grew up in, a widow known to not have much would find groceries outside her door from time to time, because that's just what you did then. Women wanted to be equal to men. Cool. It's not so much fun, is it? Where are the female bricklayers, plumbers, and roofers? Today's feminists have a plan: marry a top 5%er because they are all 10s, even if they are 50 kilograms or 110 pounds overweight. The wage gap exists. Women are paid more than men for the same work. In the military, women can do half what the men do and get promoted timely. When asked why you're not married, tell them women don't need men and walk away. They will struggle to counter you. The best way to get revenge is to succeed. The best way to aggravate a woman is to ignore her. Without distraction, success is easier to attain. 2 birds, 1 stone. In Paul Revere's day, life expectancy was 43. First menstruation qualified a woman for marriage. You had to get moving to have your kids early. Visit a colonial house museum, we have some in my area, or even during the Civil War era. People worked 6 days a week, often at least 12 hours per day. The DVD players of the 1820s were Shakespeare's plays. Alexis de Tocqueville noted this. In the 1950s, American women had a life better than that of 70% of women worldwide. Then they decided that women needed men like a fish needed a bicycle. No problem. Bicycles don't need the fish either. I do not know why any single man over 35 will have any interest in a committed relationship with a woman. Single men over 40 avoid women, as the massive risk they are, with resentment and false claims and so on. Men are forced to assess risk. Relationships with women. Many women seem to have completed their bachelor's degrees. I have never slept around. My first and second wife did play around. I cut them off. No time for that bullshit, or the master's degree, more of the same, or the doctorate piled higher and deeper. Modern women are not making men walk away from dating. No, they are making men run away from dating at top speed, evading fire and taking cover. I speak with teenagers and young men in their 20s. They think prenuptial agreements stand up in court, and that they aren't the 50-meter target on the firing range for women. The wedding stores in my area have all gone out of business. There are no soulmates any more than there is a Santa Claus or Easter Bunny. There may be compatible women whose minds and hearts aren't totally toxic, but all relationships are imperfect. It's just the way it is. We live in a world where body count is a boast, car mileage doesn't matter, rain does not wet the ground, fish fly a mile over the ocean, fast food is nutritious, and poisoning one's soul with hatred and resentment makes a woman far more attractive to the alpha male she wants. Adorning one's body with toxic cosmetics doesn't poison the liver and kidneys, and pouring out hatred and resentment on men makes them want women. Hallmark movies, soap operas, romance movies, and Disney heroines are all documentaries of how the world works. Yes, Virginia, there really is a Santa Claus, and 20 years of throwing away your value absolutely gets you Mr. Big, just like in Sex and the City, which is also a documentary. The Romans used to line the Appian Way with the bodies of crucified men as an object lesson. Divorce courts perform the same function in our society. Anyway, that's all for today on manhood. Don't forget to smash the like and subscribe buttons, and also click on the notification bell to be the first to know when I drop a new video. If you find value in my videos, you can show your support through PayPal or Cash App. The links are in the description. See you next time. Cheers.